break this down. I'm not sure this law is even constitutional. Does this violate the First Amendment?
It's probably right on the line. I mean, this is in California, so this would ultimately get appealed to the California Supreme Court, and if it goes by federal litigation, if it's a First Amendment challenge, it actually go to the Ninth Circuit because it would be in federal court. These are liberal courts, okay? So traditionally, over the past 15, 20 years, the left has increasingly sided against free speech. So I could see the courts there upholding it. But here's the thing, Liz. Anthony Kennedy, someone who I am not a fan of, I would be mortified to share on national television some of the things that I've said in my private life about Anthony Kennedy. But if there's one thing that Anthony Kennedy was wonderful on throughout his entire career, it was free speech. And he really said it best in the landmark case of Citizens United v. FEC in 2010. Kennedy said, quote, "It is our law and our tradition that more speech, not less, is the governing rule." And that's kind of the classic American axiom. That is how we have always comported ourselves in the public square and the realm of politics. Is that the way to combat speech is with more speech. It is not to attempt to write vaguely worded statutes that totalitarianly, I would say, siphon power away from the right towards the left. They take power away from the elected political branch and ultimately are just empowering federal judges to interpret these vaguely worded statutes. That's really what this is doing. It's empowering judges to decree what is right and wrong. It's an anti-democratic move. It is a totalitarian power grab, and really people of all political stripes should not stand for it.
Oh, right. And this is a problem. Like I said, I think deepfake videos are a problem, and they're going to become more of a problem. But don't we already have laws on the books about when it's protected First Amendment speech and when it crosses into slander or libel? If you are maliciously intending to spread something false and damaging about a person, don't we already have statutes that protect people and allow them to sue whoever's spreading that lie?
So specifically at issue in these videos, if we're talking about politicians would be public officials. They are public figures. So under the 1964, I believe it is, or 65 maybe, Supreme Court case of New York Times v. Sullivan, they would be able to sue if they can show actual malice on the part of whoever's running the ad. That is the legal standard. Now, we can talk about that if we want to. That's actually a wholly fabricated standard that is not consistent whatsoever with the original public meaning of the First Amendment, which Clarence Thomas wrote about quite brilliantly last Supreme Court term. But that is currently the operating federal court standard for, in this case, politicians, public figures who would sue for defamation. So they are able to do that. And in this respect, Liz, I'm no fan of frivolous lawsuits. But in this respect, that plaintiff side litigation is the only deterrent that we should need. We don't need legislators to write these statutes out of whole cloth. The fact that you can be sued should be enough. That's all we need to govern this entire regime.